Hello. Hey, everyone, and welcome to our Ultimate User Management Guide webinar. So, you're probably wondering why you see Tian and me and not Björn, since it's his LinkedIn account. Well, we pretty much hijacked that account for our usage. So, yeah, you will have to see us for the next hour. So, with me is Tian today. He's our marketing specialist at Resolution, and I'm Fredi. I'm the partner and customer success manager here. And yeah, I'll pretty much walk you a little through the guide, and Tian will show the live demo later. So, two quick notes at the beginning. So, you can drop questions in the chat box anytime. I think you should be able to see it. And then we'll structure this at the Q&A in the end. And the demo is today only about our cloud app. We'll cover also the migration from data center to cloud, but the demo will only be for the cloud app. So yeah, Tian, maybe you can drop a question in the chat. Yeah,
Yes, of course.
you guys are mostly using data center cloud or at the current process of migrating. So this matters for us because as Atlassian environment scales at the moment, admins face rising license costs and manual user cleanup, compliance exposure, and limited visibility. So especially across multiple sites and overlapping groups, then therefore it is important for us which hosting are you using, so we can also go into detail there. So, and when you see this question, maybe Tian can drop another question. Yeah, actually, this is the question that triggers action normally in a company. So, do you guys know how many inactive licenses you pay for at the moment? Like inactive licenses because users do not log into Jira or Confluence, but use licenses. So yeah, maybe you can type just like an estimate, or if you don't have any idea because you're not an admin, then that's also okay. So yeah, maybe I give you 1-2 seconds to answer, and then we'll move forward. Okay, then I guess I'll go on. So, what have we done as Resolution for customers to have an eye on their inactive licenses? Because asking the question doesn't help. So, if you don't know, like, how do you know? So, we actually created our user deactivator for data center app a long time ago. It has been in the marketplace for some years now, and now we finally created the user optimizer app for cloud. It's called User Management and License Optimizer, so it's the naming is a little different. So this app is a unified solution designed to help administrators analyze, clean up, and optimize user accounts across Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, so pretty much the whole Atlassian user products. So what can you do with our app actually? You first can detect and deactivate inactive users automatically. You set up rules for that. You can streamline group management and access control. You can gain, like I mentioned before, some customers have multiple sites, multiple instances, licenses. So you can actually get an overview of all users of all those sites. And the most important thing, that's what you do it for, you can save actually money for license costs because saving the licenses you're not using up can actually, yeah, in the end, bring down your license costs to like around 15 till 30%. So depends a little on your setup. And another great advantage is setting up all the automated rules reduces also manual admin work by up to 75% when you take the time they would normally use. So yeah, maybe Tian, you can open our guide we built. So which this is about. So let me visualize for you what we're talking about. So on the slide, you can actually see three glasses. The first one shows the user tier a customer has purchased. So let's say for 1,000 users, right? The second glass shows you how those users use the licenses up. We have the everyday users, the ones that are constantly logged in, that are using the apps on a regular basis, so they need access all the time. But then we also have the users that are like we call them sometimes users. Um, they're logging in once in a while. You can, for example, think of production workers who are only using Confluence like once a year to read up on policies for their annual training, let's say. So they don't need the license every single month. They don't need to be paid for. And then, of course, on top, there are also some licenses you bought because you have to buy a user tier of 1,000, but you only have like 920 users, active users, active. So the third glass actually shows you then what you can save when you use our license optimization app. The everyday user should stay the same. I think it's a little more in this glass, but I need to talk to our graphic designer if I miss something. Maybe I'm wearing glasses, but maybe something is off there. I don't know. Then we have the sometimes users. We bring those down to much less than before because we set up the rules saying like all the people who haven't logged in for the last 2 weeks, uh, the license gets revoked. So we do save on those licenses because then they get reactivated after logging in again. And we have still some licenses we've purchased but don't use anyway, so we don't go over our license tier. So sorry. Yeah, just to avoid those upgrades going above the license tier of 1,000 in this case, we're actually going down on the license use. We can save money. Atlassian's user tiers are like 500, especially in cloud, 600, 700, stuff like those tiers, and you can actually save a lot of money with that. So moving forward, Tian, you will set the structure and then give data center customers a practical playbook, right? Is that the next step? And then later I come back and tell you a little more about the migration story.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Freddie. Let me tell you a little bit about the plan for the next couple of minutes. We're going to go through the migration journey from data center to cloud, what typically goes wrong, and how to avoid migrating license waste. Um, Cloud governance journey, how to prevent sprawl from returning, as well as, like Freddie mentioned, the cloud demo, the visibility, the inactivity rules, the automations that you can set up, and the reporting and audit behind it as well. We will also cover ROI and next steps, and obviously the Q&A at the end of the session. What you already saw was one of the slides from our ultimate user management guide, and obviously we will share that with you as well. You are welcome to follow along as we go through it. We also would love to invite you to try it for yourself, go through it at your own time. You can view it by scanning the QR code on screen right now. But like I said, we will cover it throughout the entire webinar. So you can just follow along and then download it whenever you are ready. So this is the practical playbook as mentioned, and what you can use to guide you through the migration process. You can treat it as a checklist, if you will. It covers your baseline users, where you can get a clear count of licensed versus active usage, identify major user groups, employees, contractors, leavers, service accounts, and so on. Define inactivity, because starting threshold, commonly 14 days for the first pass, and agree internally what inactive means to you as a company. Clean up access before you estimate cloud, remove or deactivate product access for truly inactive users, and start with low risk segments like contractors and leavers. Tune the threshold to find the sweet spot, running for 14 days, then for 30 days, and compare your outcomes. The goal is to find a policy that fits how your organization works. Then you want to use the clean baseline to get your cloud license tier. Obviously, this is where finance wins. You just justify your cloud tier with evidence and without any guessing. This means you start out your cloud absolutely clean, and you from there on out you keep it clean. Once you're in cloud, continuous optimization prevents the sprawl from returning, and that's exactly what we'll show in the demo today. Even though we're not sharing the data center screen, the cloud workflow you'll see map directly to the same outcomes: activity, visibility, save actions, automation, and auditability. But Freddie, I will give it back to you for the moment, as you will tell us about the migration story first.
Yep. Can you jump to slide 13?
There you go.
No, that's not the slide I meant. Can you go two back?
Yeah, there we go. No worries.
And one more. And one more. Yeah, there.
There we go.
There.
Now 3 back.
Then you use another Canva, a slide deck, I think. But it's no problem. So
All good.
exactly, this was the slide I was looking for. So yeah, let's make this journey real with a story we built around this whole migration topic. So in our example, we have our customer, the Sandbox Institute, and they run Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket on data center. So over the years, they grew fast, but the user management didn't keep up in the end. So we now have two personas who are working for the Sandbox Institute, which is Donna and Aaron. So Donna is the Atlassian admin. She owns the migration outcome, access control, and day-to-day admin role. And Aaron is in finance, and he needs the cost predictability and proof of ROI for the migration. So what they do is they actually, check for the migration what is needed, and they do discover that they have thousands of active accounts, redundant groups, and limited visibility into who has what access. So what finance sees is the rising costs when actually migrating, that they have to buy a higher user tier. So they're also wondering, like, why are we paying for users who do not log in? So when you move 3 slides farther, Tian, I'm not saying numbers anymore because it's
That's okay. I already calculated it in my head.
yeah, perfect. So without the cleanup, the cloud migration would likely push them into higher costs and maybe even a higher user tier unnecessarily because they have unused licenses. So the also a second point that is very important, it's not only the money they could save, but it's also the audit point. Like they have messy permissions, and if they are taking them into the migration, they will also have all those messy permission topic around in cloud. And for audit reasons, of course, you need to be reliable. Who does what? Who has what access? So it's very, very important to clean that up before you actually migrate. Yeah, if you go 2 slides farther. Then, yeah, Donna, as an administrator, she sees the issues there, and she actually reframes the project now to, we do not migrate first, but we rather optimize our current setup first. And yeah, this is where the blueprint starts actually. When you go 3 slides, yes, here we go. We built this beautiful graph I don't know, Tian built that.
Yeah.
I love the colors, so this is like my favorite slide. So what is a blueprint for a successful data center to cloud migration here? So of course, first you should install our data center version, the license and user deactivator for Atlassian. Why should you do that? You can already set up rules there. You clean up the unused licenses. You clean up the permission system. Um, Doing all this in the data center already, you can have a fresh start in cloud then. Yeah, you what I mentioned, you identify the inactive users, you deactivate them, remove the product access, and then you also like set up the rules, like in which threshold, like how many days should someone be inactive. And then based on that, you can actually use our this word ROI calculator to actually estimate the cloud costs, which and also the savings, of course, because like based on that, like the clean baseline, where's a fresh start, the ROI calculator will help you there, and then you can start the migration from that already by a lower user tier. And you when you set up the new app then in cloud, you actually implement continuous optimization rules. Um, and then yeah, you actually prevent the sprawl from returning. So yeah, perfect. This is pretty much the outcome. So by starting with visibility, Donna turned a potential crisis into a success story in the end, because her proactive approach became a model for the future for also other departments, right? How to do like a big migration like that. Um, so yeah, now I pretty much talked a lot and stayed theoretical. So Tian will show now the cloud workflows that support our strategy here and our what our app does. He will show you how you can identify inactivity, automate deactivation, and produce reporting in the end. So Tian, you move along with the demo, please.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you very much. So I'm jumping right into the app. As you can see, it's already open. Very easy to find within your Jira dashboard. You simply go to apps and you will find it as user manager. And then once you click on it, it will immediately open the dashboard. So you can see exactly a quick overview of all of your Atlassian products, who's got active licenses, and a quick overview of who's inactive, who's licensed, and so on. But to go a little bit deeper into that, like we said, if you want to determine how many inactive users you have, you will first have to set up your threshold, like we mentioned before. In this case, I'm going to keep it as 14 days. Again, this is in cloud, like we know. And then now we can see the numbers have been updated. We can take it a step further. We can say show inactive users, which then takes us immediately to the user browser. And then here we can see a little bit more about exactly who those users are. You can also see at the top, there is a clear filter. You can play around with this filter if you want to include or exclude specific apps or products rather. You can select them here from the dropdown. And if you want to do it the opposite way around, you want to exclude products, you can also do that by selecting them there. You can filter by user roles, or you can say status as well. So it's really up to you what kind of filter you want to use. But what's really important is you will use this filter for your automation. So once you have your desired filter set up, you will click on Save Filter, and we're going to call it RE Demo for this use, and we're going to save that filter. Now that it's saved, we know that we have it and we can move on to automations. It's really important to save that filter because if you don't have a filter set up, you're going to struggle with creating the automation. So in the automation screen, you want to go to create task. And then once that opens, you're going to give it a name. So in this case, we're going to give RE demo as our automation name. And now we need that filter that we just created in the step before. We need to also schedule how often this automation should run, whether it's monthly, weekly, or interval. Let's go with monthly, and then you also choose a specific action. If you want to remove app access, suspend a user, restore user access, remove from a specific user group, or add to a group. So let's say remove app access just for the sake of this. Here you can see now I can select from all of the products which one I want to remove the access from. I'm going to select this specific one and I'm going to click apply. And once I do that, it will save the filter. I don't necessarily want to save this filter because I don't want to upset some people and unnecessarily remove their access at the moment, just in case they have been inactive for more than 2 weeks. But what I'll do is we do have another one that is here to view. We can see that that's also been completely set up to run on the specific times. And what we have here is now we can see the show results. The results just show us every time that it ran, what was executed, what happened, who was removed, how many people were removed. It gives you a complete audit that you can have a quick glimpse and also feedback into your reporting, especially if you have to do, let's say, monthly reporting and you want to justify some of the financial aspects or impacts that it has. And then here we can also see exactly on which dates, what time, who's been removed, and so on. So it's very useful in that sense to have the reporting as well. So that is in terms of the reporting. Settings, not going to touch on that too much, but what we can mention and what's important to mention is where you give access control, you can allow product admins or allow user access admins. So that's really important. We can see the daily time sync slot. And of course, you can add webhooks as well, should you want to create notifications and so on before people get deactivated so that they know that they need to take action before it's too late. Yeah, that is the quick and easy overview. What's also worth mentioning, like you saw, is that we have in the dashboard all of the products. This is now for all sites, but this app covers obviously your entire organization. So it's not something that needs to be individually installed. It will cover everything. So here you can see that we can go into a specific instance and then we can go and schedule dedicated automations for that organization. But for a better overview, we can just click on all sites and we have that quick overview over the entire organization, all of the instances and all of the active users and inactive users. Yeah, that is the quick overview of how it works. What I would recommend is please try it out for yourself. It is available in the Atlassian Marketplace. So if you want to try it, the QR code is currently on screen. So feel free to scan the QR code and try it for yourself. If you have any questions with regards to the app, if you have installed it, but you realize you have a couple of questions, your organization has some specific requirements, or you are uncertain about how to proceed, we also encourage you to book some time with our support team. They would be more than happy to help you and also ultimately help you set up how the app works best for you and for your organization. So currently on screen, we also have that QR code, just in case you need to reach out to support, that you can ask them as well. They really have loads of years and experience in user management, so they will help you exactly. They will find an exact solution for your needs. If you have already scanned the QR code for the Ultimate User Management Guide, you will also find all of these links included in there. But we'll share that QR code a little bit later on as well. So yeah, we hope that you find all of the links that you do need at this time. So yeah, at the moment, Freddie, I think I need to hand it back over to you to talk about cloud governance and how to connect it to ROI. After that, we can carry on with the next steps.
Yep. First, I want to add some more information to the app you just showed. So it is a 100% Forge app, which uses Forge SQL. So the data stays completely within Atlassian, within the Atlassian universe. We do not have the badge runs on Atlassian though, because we have the connection between the different Atlassian products. So Bitbucket, Confluence, Jira. And because of these connections, we don't get the badge. But Björn is in touch with them, so they might come up with a new badge, which proves exactly this. Because in the end, we do not store any information on any external server. So we think we should have the badge, but okay. And furthermore, like which you already mentioned, that you can manage different instances with this one app. So this is also, you only install it once, you buy it once. So what you do is you should probably buy it for the instance with the highest user tier, because we have in the standard pricing, we have, you can manage double the amount of the bought product user tier. So if you buy 1000 Jira users, you can manage 2000 people with it, maybe like 500 Confluence users and some other Bitbucket users, for example. And in the advanced version, we have this up to 5 times as high as the instance user tier you've installed it on. So besides that, there's no difference between the standard and the advanced version in the marketplace. Maybe this is important. And a third point, at the moment, the org admin has to set it up. And the org admin can then give access to other admins, like product admins, for example. We don't have a permission system behind this yet, what the product admin can do then. Like if they have access, they can do everything with it. But this will be like a future feature. So that, yeah, there are levels of permissions you can give. I think this is important to mention here. Yeah, and now I'll move on with the cloud governance and ROI, my favorite word in this webinar. So yeah, what they do is they say like on cloud, or cloud is easier to provision. So, but this is also why sprawl returns, what I mentioned before. This is why you should keep the instance tidy. So on paper, everything looks automated. So, but in reality, dormant accounts accumulate, overlapping groups grow, and licenses get allocated faster than reclaimed. So this pretty much creates then pressures, financial pressure, because the subscription costs are going up because you have to buy higher user tiers. Then the admin pressure, because they have to, like, I don't know, set a meeting, set an alarm, reminder in their calendar that they have to do this recurring cleanup cycles, so they stay compliant. With our app, you automate everything. Of course, you should still check back everything is running smoothly, but yeah, it helps also with the compliance pressure that there are no gaps in the documentation. You can export the JSON file, for example, of like what has been done. And yeah, I think therefore the app is really, really helpful. So like I said, you should monitor activity and apply those inactivity rules like in a specific amount of time. Therefore, then licenses are reclaimed automatically, and also the reactivation is not at 100% yet. We are still working on additional features there to make it more smoothly in the future. We're planning on February, March to release a new version with a updated reactivation process. But also the reporting is already what I said. You can export the reports as JSON files, which are super helpful. And for auditing later, they probably become super relevant. So yeah, by staying on track with this continuous optimization, this is why organizations have used our app in the past on data center, like the license savings, the reduction of in admin effort, and also the audit readiness whenever this comes up. Especially with the certifications we are all in. I assume most customers also have certifications they have to prove every year. Therefore, this audit readiness is very, very helpful. So, what could be next steps on the way to or on the journey to using our app? Maybe Tian, I'm not sure if you find it that quickly, but maybe you can show the ROI calculator because we built that. It's a page on our website where you can actually hit in the information, use it here, what apps you're using, if you're on standard or advanced versions, and then you actually get in the end what amount of savings you could have with that. If Tian finds it, he can put it on and share the screen. It is on our website. You will find it. It's highlighted bigly. But yeah, the next steps would be probably using the ROI calculator to see how much you could save. Then, of course, what Tian already mentioned, try the app, review our documentation, and then book the demo because our support is the best to show you. And also, we're like, the app is not that old yet. We are always open for feature requests at the moment because in the end, the product is for you, the customers. So building something meaningful you can use and which then, does what you need it for. Therefore, you put a QR code on. Perfect. Which leads you directly to the ROI calculator where you can see what potential you have for savings there. So that would be the next steps. And we're already finished. Yeah, we're too quick. Are there any questions? I hope you all see the chat. I would hope.
Yeah, from my view, it looks like the chat is available to everyone. In the meantime, while people type their questions, if they have any questions, I'll put some more of our QR codes on screen, specifically for the user management guide, as that also contains all of these links that we've mentioned normally on the very last page of the slide deck. So everything is covered in the user management guide. So feel free to access it via the QR code and get all of the information there.
Yeah. While someone might be typing, I can also give a little forecast for the features that are coming. So what you saw like the dashboard. We are planning on putting some more graphs on it, so you can actually see beautifully how much money you save, how many people are not using it. Then you not only see the numbers, but rather also see graphs, visualize the whole concept of the app. And then what I already mentioned, the redirection of licenses will be done prettier in the future, I'd say. Yeah, this is like, it is possible already, of course, with like the groups, but we're planning on, yeah, releasing something more efficient and also what works quicker. This is another thing. Then what else did we have? I think one additional thing was to use Atlassian webhooks to send you like Slack messages, for example, when something is done. So you don't have to open the app every day to see if everything works fine, but to use the webhooks to yeah, send a message when something is off or when something is just completed. This was another. What else? I think one thing was, I need to read my notes. They are not sorted.
Well, in the meantime, Antonio says it was really interesting. Thanks for the insights. Well, thank you
Oh,
for the kind
perfect.
comment, Antonio.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
And I see that it works. Thank you, Antonio. Also, Jan said it, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, you just need to trust.
So sorry. Yeah, I think one more thing was just that in the future, we want the automation you have to set up like manually in the beginning now, that we will have more blueprints already saved in the app, so which you can use, like set up automations already, which you then can, of course, edit and make it for your company, but that there's like more stuff already prepared within the app to make it even easier to set it up. I think this is the another feature that is coming up, and this is all planned. It's already in the backlog. It's already working. Oh, our developers are already working on it. So this will be done within Q1, 2, I assume. When I say that, and Christopher, he says he's gotta kill me.
He's gonna come for you.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Okay. There are no changes. Maybe a ticket could be created and document the change. Yes, this is also something. This is done with Jira automation. For example, if something is not working, you can already set up Jira automations and trigger specific emails when a specific wording is coming up. Then that a ticket is created automatically. So, and assigned to the correct person that needs to do something admin, most likely. But yeah, this is also what will be released. I'm not sure. I think Q2 was mentioned the last
Don't
time.
make don't make promises.
No,
Christopher's
no, no.
Christopher
It said
is gonna come
spring and
and
summer, which is Q2. But yeah, this is coming up.
we need to talk to Christopher.
Yes. Let me just sorry. Perfect. So if there are no more questions, I guess we're done. And if you have questions, I'm not. Oh, you see Björn's LinkedIn now, so you can write
You
him.
can ask him. He's gonna welcome all of the
Or
questions.
maybe
Well, we
can
are also streaming on YouTube at the moment, so I mean, feel free to post your comments or questions there as well. We will be actively reading them. And again, let me just share the QR code for support. If anything comes up, you are also always welcome to reach out to them and ask them any questions. They are more than happy to help.
Yes, perfect. You mean Q1? Yeah, he will like that. Even worse, when we mentioned February the other day, he was like, "This February." So yeah, marketing and developers are not always
Aligned.
not always. Yeah, perfect, coolio. Then we're done. We give you back 20 minutes of your lifetime, which we're not using up. So yeah, reach out. You can also find Tian and me, Christian, Hubert, Frederico Heuse here on LinkedIn. So you can also ask us. then I wish you a wonderful Thursday afternoon in Germany. And I don't know where you're at, but yeah, good time for the day. Then bye.
See you. Bye bye.